ready for brand stories? Get inspired and learn from thought leaders, CEOs, business owners, managers, entrepreneurs, and experts who tell their brand stories and share their first-hand insights. Welcome to BrandsTalk. I'm your host, Brigitte. I support entrepreneurs and organizations to become future market leaders by transforming their ambitions and passion into an online brand that radiates beauty, brilliance, and authenticity, attracting the clients and recognition they deserve. Let's get started and dive with me into the world of brands. My guest today is Kimberley Linert. Kimberley Linert is a behavioral optometrist and creative visionary. She loves people and she intends to help people feel important and loved. Her vocations have always been in the fields that allow her to inspire others to reach their highest potential and find meaning and fulfillment in their lives. She is highly trained in all areas of health and well-being, physical, nutritional, emotional, mental, and spiritual. She's a keynote speaker and author of the book Visualizing Happiness in Every Area of Your Life. She also has a podcast and YouTube channel, Incredible Life Creator. Her intention is to inspire people to find their purpose and live it. I warmly welcome Dr. Kimberley Linert. Welcome to BrandsTalk.
Yes, thank you for having me. Super excited. And now it's so fun having you on my podcast. So I want people to listen into that one too.
Yeah, it was a fun conversation, right? And today you are on my
Yes, it was.
podcast talking about how we can create an incredible life. And because you intend to inspire people to find their purpose and live it. You, Kimberly, you have a diverse background in health and well-being, including behavioral optometry, integrative medicine, and various therapeutic techniques. How has this unique combination influenced your approach to helping people reach their highest potential?
Well, I think just to start with, when you look at just general medicine in general, sometimes we look at parts of people's bodies. So I trained as an eye doctor. So I could just look at someone's eyes. But the fact of the matter is that everything that starts in the body ends up in the eyes. And so you have to look at the whole person, and that's where my approach comes in. And as the years went on, because I've been doing this for over 30 years now, I keep adding things to my toolbox. Okay, let's add the emotional piece, let's add the nutritional piece. So I'm looking at the whole person so you're functioning optimally rather than just looking at pieces and parts. I'm not a foot doctor and just looking at your foot. I'm looking at all of you. How do you function in life? Are you reaching your goals? And if you're not reaching your goals, what are the things that are holding you back? And we look at those things and can improve on those things.
Mm. It's so interesting that you say when you look at it, everything ends up in the eyes. How do you see that as an optometrist and as a person having this holistic perspective? What do you see?
Well, from a physical standpoint, any diseases or anything happening in your body is going to end up in your eyes. When it comes to the function of the eyes perceive 80% of what you're perceiving or looking or feeling. So, you have hearing, smell, taste, of all that, 80% is brought in through your eyes. Your body, of course, feels things, but 80% is brought in through your eyes. And so you have to have your eyes working with the rest of your body. And that's where optic brain fit that I created comes in. We have the vision, we have the brain, and your eyes are just an extension of your brain. Actually, it's just the part that sees what's out there. And so you have your eyes, your vision, your brain, and then you have to get the body moving with it. So doing activities like sports or dancing or, Pilates or anything where you're connecting your mind to your body helps you create brain pathways in the brain.
Mhm.
Anything you learn that is novel or new, you're creating pathways in the brain. And the best pathways, the ones that actually stick and you remember are the ones that include your vision, your your vision, your brain, your body. And there are things like learning a musical instrument, like learning how to play the guitar. There are people that have Alzheimer's and they don't really know what's going on in their world. They don't remember people. But if they've been a musician their whole life, you set them down and say, "Hey, will you play this song?" And they play it and sing it perfectly. Why? Because of the body memory, the visual memory, the everything is still there. That's why you always want to integrate the body with the eyes and the brain.
Mhm. So, how does nutrition play into that? Because we are feeding our body with something that helps us to stay healthy or not. So, how does that play into all of it?
So I want to start out first with hydration. So you have to be hydrated because there's a epidemic of dry eye these days because people are in front of screens. So first of all, you have to be hydrated. And if you notice, if you're hydrated, you see better. And when you blink your eyes, they re-wet and you can see clearer. When your eyes dry out, it actually gets blurry. So first you have to have good hydration. But then when it comes to nutrition, there are certain things that actually help to keep the eyes healthy. So green leafy vegetables are very, very important for that. It keeps you from having macular degeneration, which is solely based um, on your diet. Now, some people are more genetically prone to macular degeneration because it's in their family or for certain reasons. But eating green leafy vegetables like spinach, broccoli, collard greens is going to help prevent macular degeneration. The other thing about nutrition is you want to avoid sugar and things that turn into sugar, like, simple carbohydrates, as in, like spaghetti, rice, flour. Because if your sugar goes up and down, your vision's going to go up and down with the sugar level. So if your sugar's high or your sugar's low, it's going to affect your vision. And obviously, you can also get something like diabetes, which is going into the disease area. And if you get diabetes, there's things that happen in the back of the eye, like bleeding, where you actually can lose your vision. So nutrition is very important when it comes to your eyes and vision. And it's also important as far as the brain. So one of the best things you can do for your brain is consume omega-3 fish oil
Mhm.
or some kind of omega-3. So if you're a vegetarian, you can use flaxseed or just find other things that have um, the omega-3 in it because that helps with the dry eye. It also helps with your brain. And they've even done studies where taking the omega-3 fish oil helps people who, again, are going into dementia or Alzheimer's to start to reverse that. Because sometimes some of the things that we get as we think they're just getting older things, they're not really getting older things. We're not eating the right things. Our body's not getting the nutrition it needs. And so you want to add omega-3s in some form to your diet.
So it's not only about nutrition, but it's also about exercising in order to stay healthy. What would be like a normal week when it comes to exercising? How much exercise is necessary in order to stay healthy? Is that situative, individual, specific? What is your take on that?
Um, well, I can only go back to so I have a background in that. I was a personal trainer and this is gonna date me, an aerobics instructor where we did the dance and exercise, with the Jane Fonda thing. When I was younger and, as a person later years, I've done CrossFit. So I think just talking as a person who's not as excited about exercise as I am because I love being in the gym and I love exercising and not everybody does. But I think you need to do something at least 3, 4 times a week to keep your body health. And you have to choose something that goes with the season you're in. If you're really fit, CrossFit works for you. But if you're 75 years old, CrossFit might not be the best one. For some it is, but they're kind of the outliers, right? It might be a walk in the park or go outside and take a walk, or something gentler like Pilates or yoga. But as long as you're moving and having your body working with your mind.
Wow, these are already golden nuggets to take away. Now, I want to shift gear a little bit and also talk about your journey as a creative visionary and what we can learn from that, because you emphasize the importance of authenticity and alignment in all areas of life. So, how do you incorporate these principles into living your best possible version? And in your style of connecting and communicating with others, with your audience, with, in your private, but also in your professional capacity.
So you said a really long explanation there. So let's just break it down. Let's just break it down and start with this. First of all, several years ago, I decided to write a book called Visualizing Happiness in Every Area of Your Life. And I did that because um, I think that life has different parts to it, and all these pieces kind of need to come together, like your health, your career, your finances, your you know, to feel fulfilled, to feel happy in your life, you kind of need all these things kind of working together. And of course, there's certain times we're working on certain things more than the other. But I wrote that book because I wanted people to have a wholeness of life and to really enjoy their life. And I think to really enjoy your life, you have to know why you're here. You have to know who you are. The book goes into, who am I? What do I like? What do I value? What are my values? What's important to me? And then who are the people they want to be around? And first of all, you have to know who you are, because you can't be authentic if you don't know who you are. And then you have to take that who you really are and take it into all areas of life. And you're in marketing, so if you go to marketing, it's the same thing with a business. So if you are your own business, like a lot of us are, where, there's coaches out there and people who have their own business, you are the face of the business, then your values that you have personally need to be your values in your business. And you need to communicate that to the people who you're serving. And then when those people say, yes, I want your service, that service has to reflect those same values. It's not like, oh, good, we look really flashy and great in the public. We have this great brand, it looks fancy. Okay. And then we get a customer, we sell, and we're like, yeah, we sold them. But then if you don't give them the service and continue doing service for them, that's inauthentic. Being authentic is continuing the service for that person, and the same thing in your life. So when you make a decision, you think about, what are my values? And you ask the question, okay, so it's in my book, I go over, you can put your values in order of importance. So let's say your most important is your relationships, and you have a decision where you have to decide if you're going to be in a relationship with someone or not. Well, what is important to you about relationships? If you are a career person and that person just likes to sit on the couch and play video games, you could be friends with them, but are they going to promote you, help you get the goal you want? Probably not. So you make all your decisions based on what values you have. And you want to choose to spend your time with people who have similar values.
Yeah, and there also this significance of deep communication, understanding your client's deep desires. Here
Mm.
comes in very strongly. So, how do you reach that? So, how do you get there? And how do you bring that to the next level and, develop and foster a relationship that is loyal with your customers?
Well, I think this is a really simple question, but it's the most important. You need to ask them, what do you want? What do you desire? What makes you happy, makes you feel good? What services do you need from me? And that starts with market research when it comes to a company. But then when you have done that market research and you have your target audience who want what you have, you need to ask them. You need to be asking them all the time. So when you're going through, let's say you're doing a one-on-one sales call, and this person is deciding whether or not they want your service. Well, the first thing you want to do is get their get their attention, and you do that by by actually being interested in them. So you ask them questions. What are your goals? What would you like? What would be ideal for you? You need to really know them and then see where your product or service fits in and how it answers the question and is the pathway to where they want to go. So they want this, your service can do that. So then your job is to communicate, hey, I've got the path, I've got the way to do it. Just come along with me and you're going to get what you want.
Yeah, that's what I tell my clients also all the time. That's really important that you listen. It's about listening to what your customers have to say and understanding their language and also offering the services also in the same way of how they understand. So you really need to align your offerings with their desires. That's I think where the magic comes in. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we talk also about when it comes to your book about visualizing happiness in every area of your life. So, what does it really mean? Because visualizing happiness, yeah, how do you then translate that? How do you put that into action so that we can really live the life that we desire? That is incredible.
This is the book, by the way, in case you're looking for it, bright yellow. So, visualizing happiness, there's the visual part, which is the mindset, the getting your mind there. So, basically, you're taking a goal and you're putting it in your future. So, you're visualizing what that would be like right now. So, when you go into visualization, you just think of what you would like to have and you visualize it with all the emotions that go along with it. And I'm not going to go into that whole process, but you actually have to know what you want to get it. So you visualize it in a very clear picture, and then you put it out on a date and you put it out on your timeline and said, okay, I'm going to put it here. This is where I'm going to get what I want in this certain area. But just visualizing doesn't work. You have to do actions. So in my book, I tell people you need to put things in your calendar.
Mhm.
So if you want to exercise every day, get out your calendar and put exercise on all the days you're going to exercise and what time you're going to do it. If there's things you do once a week, you put those on there. If there's things you do once a month, you put those on there. If you want to take a vacation to Disney World 2 years from now, because maybe you have a big family and you have to save a lot of money, you put that on the calendar. It has to be on there. And then when it comes to actually achieving a goal, you need to work on it every day. So there's little steps. You have to chunk it
Yes.
down. So you might not have that, whatever money you need to go to Disney World. But if you save so much every week and put it aside for Disney World, you're going to do it. The same thing with exercise. Sometimes we have injuries or things that keep us from continuing forward. But if we just take it in steps, we can get stronger and we can get back to where we were.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think setting the date is something that a lot of people forget. They have a goal. I want to achieve this, or I want to have that many clients in the future. But I think a date is important. Why? There might be several reasons for that. Can you elaborate on that?
First of all, you have to know where you're going and when you're going to get there. I mean, if you were going to take a trip from, I don't know, Florida to California, wouldn't you kind of want to know like how long it's going to take and where you're going to go? What steps it takes to get there? You don't want to start in Florida and then start going north and then going south and then go and getting there in 2 years. You wouldn't want to do that. Now, sometimes the best plans are, I'm going to start in Florida and I'm going to get to California in 3, maybe 4 days if I'm slow. Um, so, but even the best laid plans sometimes get, something goes wrong, you get a flat tire. Um, but all you do is, let's say you get to the date and you didn't make it, you didn't get your goal. Well, just set another date and create a new path and you can still get there. I mean, we are in a life where things happen. Things do go up and down, and we can't always plan what's going to happen.
Exactly. So I think What I wanted to aim at is that, especially for entrepreneurs, business owners, to have these SMART goals, yeah, specific goals, measurable goals. It's attainable, realistic, but then also timely. Timely in terms of when do I want to get there. And as you say, we have to be flexible as well because things are changing, there's new trends, there's new circumstances out there. You just need to be flexible to pivot and to create a new path. And if you want to achieve that, then you have to work around that and be determined if you still want to reach that goal so that you reach that goal. I think that is important. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to come back to your own entrepreneurial journey because you are in different fields and you bring it so nicely together to help. Your mission is to help others create an incredible life and live their higher purpose. How was your entrepreneurial journey from the beginning? Did you know from the beginning who you want to become? And was it easy? Was maybe were the difficulties? How was it?
That also is a big question, but let's just start here. I think most people, as they're younger, they plan their career, how it's going to be, what they want. And I found myself a single parent pretty early on with 3 children. And I had started my business, a vision therapy and family optometry clinic. And I was determined that no matter what, I was going to you have that determination when you're younger. Yes, that I'm going to do it. I'm going to be successful. And I was working so much that I didn't want to leave the office. So I would have my nanny bring my kids to the office. I would feed them and keep working sometime. And then we'd go home. And because I just said, I got to make this work. And then something happened in our family. I got a call from home that my dad had been in a very bad car accident. He was on an icy road in Michigan and 2 cars hit him at the same time. We didn't think he was going to make it. And that was a wake up call for me because I'm like, okay, what am I doing? I'm just been working. And what kind of life is this for my kids? And so at that point, I changed my schedule. So I'd work only 4 days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I had Friday for me to actually take care of myself. The self care came back in. Saturday and Sunday to spend with my kids. Of course, Sunday for my church and, God. And believe it or not, my business became more successful
Mm.
by taking the hours and saying, okay, you can only have appointments during these days. It filled in. And I was busier than I was when I was trying to work all those days. And so that started my journey of, okay, how do we live a life that's fulfilling, still be successful? Because a lot of us are very driven. A lot of us are very driven and we want to be successful, but not at the cost of family, not at the cost of self care. So we have to look at all those things. And that's why I wrote this book because I said, I want to promote that to everyone. You do need to find your purpose and your passion and live it because that's the only way you're going to be happy. And there's gifts that we have that we're supposed to share with the world. And if we don't share our gift because we each have a unique one, the world is missing that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like selfish if you don't share your gift. So you should find out what your purpose is. And then this is where my area is in high performance is you want to go deep and master that. Be really good at what you do.
Okay, so what are the steps to go deep and master that?
Well, it depends on what your profession is. So in my case, I said I had learned all these different techniques, one after the other, continuous education in the area. Um, and that can be through books or seminars or, learning from other people or having mentors or coaches. Find someone that has done it before. When it came to my vision therapy, I mean, I would be in trainings where it was by invitation only. It was at I would call it the master or the doctor who was writing all the books. It would be at their house, and there would be, 8 or 10 of us just listening and hoping to get a nugget because they were so brilliant that half the time you don't even know what they're talking about. Those people, they're just so brilliant. But we wanted to know, we wanted to understand. We didn't just want to do what everyone else was doing. We wanted to be the best of what we could, what we were doing. And so, whatever your profession is, you need to find other masters and learn from them and just go deep. And also, sometimes we go so deep into our profession that we start doing the same things over and over. In other words, we don't see other possibilities. So I think it's always good to look at parallel businesses and parallel, in my case, therapies, because you can learn from them. So you may have a coaching business, and then there's this car wash, and you think, what can I learn from people doing a car wash? Oh, well, if you buy 5, you get the 6th one free. Whatever they do, if you're doing house cleaning, okay, we'll clean your house the first time for free, and then you can see our work. And, there's different things you can take from different companies or different professions. In my case, took a lot from different modalities, from emotional to mental to, there's even, there's colored light therapy I use, there's sound therapy, there's all those therapies go together to create someone who can really do well in life. And you can do that with business, you can do that with yourself. I mean, if you're looking at your life and you're like, okay, how can I expand my life? Well, just learning something new. Like when I actually had my kids raised and I had more time, I went back to art classes. I've always loved art, but when you're working on your career and you're raising kids, you don't always have time for those fun things. So I went back to art. So, the last 5, 6 years I'm doing, so you have to look around and find out what would give you the most happiness, what was going to give you fulfillment. What people would you want to do it with? I mean, if you like yoga, you're going to have friends who are doing yoga. But all those pieces to help you, enjoy your life and enjoy the people around you.
Yeah, I think you are making here a really, really good and important point. It's mingle with people who are in different walks of life, in different industries, and having mentors. But also, for example, I have accountability partners I'm meeting every week who are in different industries, doing different things, but they bring so much value in because they're having a perspective that is not familiar to me, but I'm learning. And then I'm thinking, oh, this is something I can borrow from here. This is something I integrate from here, or this is something I can do different. So it becomes a unique blend of something that enriches you as a person, but also your business, and also infuses another layer of meaning into your brand. And that's what makes you different to others or better to others because you just have a different approach to things. So thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, I mean, this is really a great story. And is there any other story that you can tell about your life, about your best practice that you can share with our audience to take away?
There's so many things, but since I was thinking back kind of in my younger years, if you're a sole parent, whether you be a man or woman, and I think the most important thing is to always take care of yourself. Make sure that you're taken care of because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your kid. So that's one thing. And even if you're really busy and even if you have a lot of responsibilities, you still need to take that minute to find out and ask yourself, what would I like today? What would I like in this moment? And even when you're busy, even when things are going crazy, just even if it's like 30 seconds, I would just like some peace. Well, I'm just going to sit here for 30 seconds. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to have some peace. But always ask yourself, what would I like?
Yeah, what would I like? So I think a lot of people just forget about what they like, and we should focus on that as well. Because if we're doing that, what we like, it makes us happy, and it's got a ripple effect on everything else in our sphere, in our surroundings, in our environment where we interact with others in our private life, but also in our professional life. Kimberly, you also have a podcast. You talked about it briefly, the Incredible Life Creator podcast. Why did you start it?
Um, so when I was working in my therapy center, I was kind of working one to one or one to two, working with people. and helping them get their goals, helping them reach their highest potential. And like I said, I've been doing this for over 30 years. And I wanted to make sure that before I died, I shared everything with people that I know because I had a colleague who was a neurochiropractor and he was brilliant in the brain area when we worked together with some patients. And when he was in middle of his 50s, he got sick and just died. And that all his knowledge left with him. He hadn't written any books or anything. All his knowledge was just gone. And then again, another wake up call for me. And said to myself, I would like to speak to a lot of people. And so I started learning public speaking, which was really different for me. That's not something I would have chosen. But I found out that the way to actually reach a lot of people is to write a book and do public speaking. And then the last one was broadcasting. So I was wanted to start a YouTube channel or a podcast. And I found someone who was one of the best in podcasting and I learned from him. Again, I go for the masters. So I found the best to teach me what to do. But the goal was to reach as many people as possible. And podcasts are international. I mean, we're speaking internationally right now, Austria and Georgia, United States. I mean, it's awesome. People you can reach. And so I want to reach as many people as I can. And some people I'll just reach through the podcast. And the podcast features people from all different walks of life doing all different things because I want people to find their passion and purpose and live it. But you can't do it if you haven't been exposed to it. So it's to expose people to all different ideas. But then there are some people who I will work one-on-one with or will work with in groups and, we can help them go deeper and further as far as reaching their true potential.
So, is there anything special that you're offering at the beginning of 2024 that you would like to mention here right now?
Right now, I'm just doing a challenge with goals, and that will start at the beginning of January. So, again, it's looking at yourself, what you like and what you want right now, because we need to reassess that all the time. So I think people should kind of reassess that about every 3 months. Okay, what do I want right now? Am I reaching the goal? Am I getting what I want? And 3 months from now, you might say, you know what? I thought I wanted that, but that's not so important to me anymore. I don't think I really want that anymore. Now that I have this new information or I just been exposed to this new hobby or this new skill, I think I want to go in this direction. So reassessing often is really important.
Yeah, it's really important. So, where can people reach you, Kimberly?
Probably the best is on social media. And it's just Kimberly Linert, KimberleyLinert, on either Facebook, LinkedIn. I also have a website, drkimberlylinert.com, if you want to see where everything's kind of put together in one spot.
Okay. And before we wrap it up, I would like to do a quick word wrap with you, Kimberly. Are you ready for quick and short answers?
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you think top of mind when it comes to success?
Success is being happy with who you are and what you're doing and not wishing for something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Authenticity.
Just be yourself. Love who you are, love yourself, be yourself, just show that to the world, whether it be quirky or strange or different. We all are unique and lovable, and just be yourself.
Holistic.
Holistic. Oh, that one actually makes me take a deep breath because holistic is like whole, full, everything's there. There's nothing missing. It's all there, and you feel good and you feel relaxed and centered.
Awesome. And the last one, brains. What are brains for you?
A brand is your way of showing the world who you are. Kind of like your identity or like your name. Your name doesn't really say who you are, but we call each other by a name so that we know who we're talking to. So a brand is so that people know who you are and how to refer to you.
Oh, wow. I love that explanation of it. Thank you so much. All right, Kimberly. Thank you also so much for being my guest today and share with us how we can create an incredible life, find our purpose, and imbue all of it into an authentically shining. And thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And I just love what you're doing because you're talking about branding and marketing, but you're also talking about mindset and just being the real you. And when you're the real you and your company is the real what they're saying they are, that's amazing. So thank you so much what you're doing
Thank
now.
you. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. If you like my show, follow BrandsTalk on your preferred app, share it on social media, and if you find a minute or two, leave a quick rating or review. Thank you so much. If you want me to guide you to become a future market leader by transforming your ambitions and passion into an online brand that radiates beauty, brilliance, and authenticity, attracting the clients and recognition you deserve, drop me an email. I'd love to be your guide on your hero journey. Check out my website, BridgetBrands.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I hope you will stay tuned in on the next episode when we dive into the world of brands.